So, Lynn and I had kind of like an unspoken rule that we wouldn't do Disney episodes back to back because we didn't want it to feel too condensed. We wanted to space out that kind of information.
Yeah, and we're not Disney adults, by the way.
We aren't. We totally
No,
aren't.
no.
But there wasn't really anything else we wanted to talk about this week. There wasn't any content that was relevant to the time. So we thought, let's continue our Disney conversation from last week. And we are going to go to Disneyland, continue our tier list. Now, it's only the start of the episode, and roughly half of the things are already on the board. The reason for that is some of these things are truly copy-paste from one park to the other, or Lynn and I don't have enough of an opinion to make it enjoyable to talk about.
Yeah.
So things like the Star Wars rides, they're the exact same. Dumbo, I don't think is different. The train is the same. What else on here? Can you say anything about Lynn?
I do want to say that Small World, not sure if you touched on that already. Small World is a little bit different. I prefer the Small World version at Disneyland. But for the most part, all of these are things we either have at World or just things that we were kind of like, well, maybe I've done, but Braden hasn't done, or maybe it's something Braden has done and I haven't done. So we kind of just went with each other's judgment on that. And we also compared it to just the parks that we've already filled out too for World.
Yeah. So for like the full explanation of the rides that are already up, go see our Magic Kingdom episode. It's only slightly cringy because I think it was our first episode we ever uploaded.
Yeah.
And then the Hollywood Studios episode also covers literally 2 of these things. Everything, 3, because also Star Tours.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's new content. So I think as well the fun part is it's a very different feeling going to Disneyland as a Floridian and someone who's north of Florida, so it's most convenient to just head south.
Yeah.
So like in your opinion, Lynn, because you went more recent than I did, what was like the biggest difference and like enjoyable part about going to land over going to World?
Yeah, so for Land, it is so much smaller. Like, it's just crazy because you can walk from one spot to the other in less than 2 minutes. Like, oh, I'm in Tomorrowland and now I'm in Fantasyland. Like, that is crazy to me because I feel like everything at World is so spread out. But that was like the biggest difference when I went for the first time and then for the second time most recently that I noticed. It does feel a little bit more magical at Disneyland too. And I think it has a lot to do with, that was Walt's first park and he actually walked the streets and everything like that. So if you're a big Disney history nerd, I feel like that is pretty meaningful. And then the third difference, actually, I have 2 more. The third difference, the castle's a lot smaller. That was a big shock. And the fourth thing that I noticed, there's a lot of more dark rides, which I love. I'm a big fan of dark rides. I feel like at World, everything is getting replaced with a screen, or maybe our current dark rides are just kind of like getting older. But a lot of these rides are like true to when Disneyland opened, or at least some form of when Disneyland opened, which was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when I went to Disneyland, it felt like there was a lot more things put even into the backdrop. Like me being a big Adventureland person, I felt like it was a lot more natural and it felt like a jungle, like it felt like a wild habitat. Because compared to Disney World, it's kind of like there's forestry further away from you. Like things like when I was at Disney World and working there, at Magic Kingdom, the main entrance, it's just a big building to your right and a small building to your left, and then some trees after the water. And then when you go to Disneyland, it kind of felt like things were over top of you, and it was kind of
Mhm.
like engulfing you. So you felt more like surrounded by it rather than seeing it. And then they even had things like they had a lot more restaurants that were more exciting.
Mhm.
Like there's like a barbecue stand
Yeah.
that's just straight up not at Disney World, and I didn't
Mhm.
get to go there, but I want to go back to Disneyland primarily for that barbecue stand.
Yeah. I didn't get to go either, but a lot of their food offerings are a million times better than what we have here.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. I tried, it was like a chicken burrito sandwich, and it was at the Jolly Holiday Cafe, and it came with like a corn chowder soup, and that was one of my favorite meals I ate on the trip. And I only do quick services, um, but I thought that was fantastic.
I'm so what is the name of the place again? Disneyland
Jolly Holiday. I think it was one of the seasonal menu items, but it was incredible.
I got some photos. Let's see if this is what you're talking
Okay.
about.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Kinda, yeah.
yeah. The one
It's
on the
kind of like
right.
a this one.
Yeah, that was it.
So like a sandwich with like pulled meat in it.
Yeah, it
Ooh, yeah, that looks good.
was really good. And it came with like this chicken, or sorry, this corn chowder soup, so you can dip the chicken burrito sandwich in it. It was so good.
I think the only closest thing we would have to that in Disney World would either be the barbecue at Regal Eagle for Epcot,
Mhm.
and then not as close but similar would be ABC Commissary, the buffalo chicken grilled
Grilled
cheese. Is that what it
cheese.
is? Yeah.
Yes. So good.
It's also like really fun that, like you said, you can walk really closely, but it's also like you go further away. You
Hmm.
can walk a minute and you're in California Adventure,
Yeah.
or you could turn 90 degrees and you're on their Disney Springs, so downtown Disney.
Hmm.
And they have a lot of shops, and it's fairly narrow. Like it's one walkway.
Yeah.
You're only going this way or you're going that way.
Hmm. It's definitely not as packed as Disney Springs in terms of shops. I feel like there are less shops at
Mhm.
downtown Disney, but also you have to keep in mind that was built before Disney Springs got its makeover and basically became an outdoor shopping mall. So it's just really neat to see the differences. But I do like how Disneyland tends to keep the theming and everything. There's when I went, figurines of Minnie, Mickey, Goofy, Pluto, related to the holiday. So I went kind of in between Halloween and Christmas time. So they still had Halloween things out, but they would just have like a character sitting in a bush. Not a real one, but like a statue. And I was like, they don't have that at Disney Springs.
Interesting. I mean, the only similarity the two have is it's kind of like you're going in one direction or the opposite direction, which
Yeah.
is the same for Disney Springs. But then just looking at Disney Springs, the biggest difference is there's a lot of times where you could make a left or a right, and then suddenly you're in a different area. And I feel
Hmm.
like it's also like an Orlando thing where a lot of companies are like making a name for themselves. So they have like their building that they always like come out of, and they're
Yeah.
like themed around it. Like Planet Hollywood, for example,
Hmm.
it looks like a Planet Hollywood building. Or Rainforest Cafe. You can't just replace that with a Margaritaville. That would look a
Yeah.
little awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It is a lot smaller at Disneyland, but I kind of like that.
Hmm.
It feels less overwhelming. And then for foods, like I want to go back to that as well
Yeah.
because I cannot get over this. Isn't Disneyland? It's California Adventure.
Hmm.
The crunchy chicken sandwich in Baymax area, the San Francisco
Yes.
area.
Yes.
So freaking
It's
delicious.
delicious.
Why is it that they have such better quality everything?
It's a locals park. That's why.
It it feels, yeah, I think that's something we've talked about. Disney
Hmm.
World feels like a tourism park. Disneyland feels like a locals park, but it also feels a little bit better quality.
Yeah. See, I remember someone that I used to work with while I was at Disney said Disney World brings in the money, but Land spends the money. And that makes sense.
But there's no way Disneyland doesn't make money. Like
Yeah.
when I was there, it wasn't as busy as Disney World,
Hmm.
but I feel like it was still at capacity where it was still enjoyable and it was
Yeah.
still just like, oh, I'm not by myself. There's
Right.
still people at this park.
Hmm.
I also one of the days was kind of an off day, so it was a weird start where like no one was there. But then after that, it was just like enough people to be like, oh yeah, this is a busy park.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you go like on a weekday, because
Mm-hmm.
so many people either have work or school. And that's the thing, people will go after work or school,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Orlando, but it's a lot noticeable at Disneyland since it is considered a locals park.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be a lot of fun if you lived in Anaheim or just outside that area and you had like I don't know, an office job or like
Yeah.
a hybrid job where you worked from home and it's like, oh, I finished my hours early. I'm going to spend
Mhm.
half a Friday just at the park because I have a season's pass. Like that'd be great.
So fun.
Mm-hmm. But actually, moving on to the rides and the attractions, the ones that we have left are, I think, 16 I counted. So, like all the other tier lists, S through F, S is flawless, love going on it, and there's no changes we think. F is don't want to ride it, and I will not try to ride it. The first thing on the list is I don't think ever talked about from our last 4 episodes, Lynn,
Yeah.
the monorail that's at Disneyland because it goes into Magic Kingdom
Yeah.
directly. What are your thoughts on that one? Because it's also a lot more smaller and it's a lot
Yeah.
more old fashioned style.
Hmm. For me personally, S tier.
Ooh.
I did not get to ride the monorail on my first visit. So my most recent visit, which was my second one, I was able to finally go on it and I liked it. I liked how it had the classic monorail seating, but then
Mm-hmm.
also it had a bench in the middle and it faced out the window. So you could
Oh
look out the
yeah.
window. And the
Mm-hmm.
weather was just so beautiful that they actually had the monorail windows closed, or sorry, halfway closed. So they were like half open, half closed, so there was a nice breeze. It was just so lovely, and I like how it also drops you into downtown Disney too, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just take it back into the park.
Yeah. It's a good distance away because what is it? It goes from the Star Wars store over to Tomorrowland and then it
Mhm.
loops back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there is a way they could make the monorail a 3 stop, but I guess the only issue would be they'd have to section cars where it's like these cars will open at Disneyland and the other ones will open at California Adventure,
Hmm.
and then all of them will open at the downtown Disney spot.
That's a good idea.
It could work, but
Yeah,
the other issue is they'd have to completely redesign what the
they
monorail
have.
system is. Yeah, I think it's good for what it is.
Hmm. Plus, I feel like with Tomorrowland, it is
Mm-hmm.
so close to the entrance of Disneyland, and Disneyland is just like not even a 1 minute walk from California Adventure. So I feel like maybe they're kind of like, well, if we put it towards Pixar Pier, like towards the back of the park, but I feel like them putting it like at the front of the park probably would not make sense.
My other idea was they could put it in the back section of Avengers Campus,
Hmm.
but also with all the news recently about Avengers Campus having, I think, 2 or 3 new rides. I want to pull this up because it's been a while and I'm really excited
Yeah.
for it.
I think it's two, but I know there were really interesting plans that Disney has for the rides.
Yeah, one of them was a simulator involving like an arm
Hmm.
for Iron Man related, but it looked like there was
Yes.
no screen. So let me pull that up. So the first one is Stark Flight Lab, and people will test out Tony Stark's newest simulation involving simulated flight via robot arm that moves 2-person pods. It'd also be fun if it will, like the way it's designed, it looks like it's gonna put you down. You'll get
Hmm.
like a voice line or something like that, and then the next arm will pick you up and he'll tell you what it's about to simulate.
Yeah.
So it's like here's us simulating initial flight, and here's us simulating barrel rolls and like all these things. And
So
I can see it being a lot of fun.
yeah. So it kind of looks like an assembly line.
Yeah.
which is cool.
It's kind of like a more appealing and approachable version of what the first test track was.
Yeah.
And then the other one for it was this Infinity Defense, I think it's called.
Hmm.
And you fight King Thanos. The only concern I have for it is the ride kind of looks like a simulator. Like
Yeah.
do you remember the Simpsons ride at Universal
Universal.
Studio? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the mock art looks like that's what it's going to portray. And I hope it's not. I hope it's a proper ride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see how that happens.
Yeah. I don't know. It's more Marvel content. It's more Avengers content. I'm excited for it.
Hmm.
For the monorail though, I gotta agree. It's better designed. It's more enjoyable to go on.
It's a classic.
It's cozier.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you've heard this, but when I went on the monorail on my last program, people would say that the monorail smelled like hay, like horse hay
It smells
at
like
Disney World.
it smells like mold, not mold, but it smells musty.
Yeah, that's what it
Musty.
is. You got that musty monorail over in Florida.
Delicious. Sweat.
Isn't that another thing with Florida, like Disney World? It's
Hmm.
because Florida's so humid, it's harder to maintain the rides because it just gets so like damp.
That I'm not too sure about, but I can definitely see that being true. It gets so hot, and especially with the moisture from the humidity,
Uh,
I bet that can mess things up.
yeah, you love humidity, don't you, Lynn?
Oh, absolutely. Get
It's
me
your
out of here.
fave. Get me out. Get me out.
Get me out.
Next on the list for new or like different scenery, I'll say for this one is Enchanted Tiki Room. I kept it as something I wanted to talk about because I love the fact that the ride or the show isn't just like the building. There's a lot of area around it. Like it kind of feels like a home that has a fence around the outside. Because the one at Disneyland, it's the building, walkway, fence with an entrance and like a beautiful sign designed as you go into the area, and then a back porch overseeing the water for Jungle Cruise, so even more fun for me. And then it has like a big like fancy Dole Whip stand.
Yeah.
Like it's well made.
It is. I will say with the design, I was going to go see the show when I was there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I could not tell where the entrance was because the design was that good. And like
Mm-hmm.
no one, that's the issue with the Dole Whip stand being there. No one was like in line for anything. They're just like sitting and eating. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, do I just stand here, like sit here and wait for something to happen? Like what's going on?
There was
So
a
I,
small pre-show, yeah. It's
yeah,
you're not wrong.
I didn't get to do any of that experience there, and I kind of regret it, but they themed it so well, I guess I did not realize.
I'm gonna do a cheeky little sketch and try to visualize what it all looked like. So this is where the birds were. And then I think you left out this way. And then it kind of did this. And then I'm such a good artist, guys. You guys are going to love my drawing.
10 out of 10.
And then this is where the Dole Whip is. And this is what a pineapple looks like, I promise. I know what pineapples look like. That's kind of right. This post-it note has a company's name on it. I'm going to rip it off. I think it's kind of like this. Where this
Right?
is where you go in, and then birds. And I remember when you left, it kind of like turned around, and then the Dole
Yeah.
Whip would be up here. And then I think this is the entrance to Adventureland.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not good at illustrating. I'm good at math. I'm good at projects. I'm not good at art. Anyways, Yeah, you are right though. It's kind of hard to find the exact entrance because they don't just slap it on the top of a queue. They kind of slap it
Yeah.
onto like here's the area for the tiki
Hmm.
room.
But it's like, where is the tiki room?
So I'll kind of change my rating to match your vibes.
Okay.
I think it and the environment is great,
Hmm.
but it's hard to find the entrance because it's
Yeah.
not saying stand here to start.
Like, I did not even know there was like a back porch area that overlooks the Jungle Cruise.
So is great something you can agree with?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've only
Okay.
seen the one at World, but
Mhm.
Tiki Room is classic.
Oh yeah.
Can't
Yeah,
go wrong with that.
that's another Walt Disney one, which is fun. Like it's something that he was a part of. And then continuing in Adventureland because this is incredibly different. The Adventure Treehouse. When we did it for Magic Kingdom, we said we were not a fan. My reasoning was that things are always broken and everything feels static. Nothing really moves or does anything. Have you done? I don't think
No.
you've done it ever.
Ever.
Damn it.
So I have
Did
no
you
comment.
did you get a chance to do the Disneyland one?
No.
Damn it. It's so good.
I'm sorry.
It's a good excuse to get your steps in as well.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's not great because you're really just like looking at things move. You're looking at simple machines doing like up and down, spinning, in and out, like just those
Hmm.
kind of motions. But it's still a lot of fun to see all these dynamic motions and movements happening, and it's kind of like all centered around like a wheel, like a water powered wheel.
Yeah.
So it also feels like it's not just something sitting around nature, it's something moving because of and with nature.
That's a good concept there.
Mm-hmm. My little engineering mind loves that kind of stuff. So is it appropriate to say that it's good?
Yes.
I think it would be great if it was like if they added, I don't know, fun aspects like they used the water to power a makeshift fridge that makes ice, and then like you
Hmm.
felt cold air,
Yeah.
or they had like I don't know, they had like actors, they had cast members that were part of the scenery.
Hmm.
That could also be fun.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
Disney's too cheap for that.
Yeah, I mean Disneyland does spend the money, so
That's
that's why
true.
you see this one moving and you don't see the other one moving.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then my all-time favorite. So glad we got to talk about this again.
Jungle
Jungle
Cruise. Show
Cruise.
off that shirt.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
Shout out Lyn for buying this for me when she went
Heck
to
yeah.
Disneyland, and they didn't sell it unfortunately when I went.
Sad.
I have to say, flawless without a doubt. It is amazing. It is enjoyable. It is exciting. It's not the same as Disney World.
It is
They
not.
definitely made two different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Different animals, different sceneries, different jokes. I heard like
Yeah.
definitely not the same script. And then even like the building was more fun to walk around because the one at Disney World is kind of just back and forth on one level. The
Hmm.
one at Disneyland, you're going on multiple levels and you're seeing a lot more happening around you.
Yeah. I have to say, for me, it's not flawless. I know that's a shock,
How
but
dare you?
I know, I'm sorry. I do say it's a great ride. The only issue I had with it was I feel like it was missing something. Like, in my opinion, I felt like it was too short. And I feel like it was missing that temple scene. Like, I know they want to do something different from World, but I feel like they
Ugh.
should have had, like, maybe, like, another aspect where you go into a building or something.
See, but you're thinking about it wrong because
Oh,
you're thinking World was made before Land.
that's
So you're
fair.
thinking that they made a temple and then they decided not to keep the temple for Disneyland. In
Yeah.
reality, Disneyland was made and then they said, what if we added a temple for Disney World?
And I'm glad they did.
Yeah. Because what? It's dark, it's cool,
Yeah.
and it's relaxing
Yeah.
because you like your dark inside rides.
Yeah, the first time I ever did it at World, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize you were going in a temple and I got scared. And I like crouched down. I was like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen?"
It's 100% though. It's just an excuse for the cast members to
Hmm.
have a second to sit, drink water, breathe,
Yeah.
and collect their thoughts.
Hmm.
Like I've never come across one where they're talking. The most I've gotten is one guy. He like just sat down and he just like relaxed, and then he grabbed the mic. He goes, "Did we get out of the dark scary tunnel yet,
That's funny.
guys? Have we left yet?"
Guys.
I'm gonna veto your grade and just put it at flawless
Okay.
because I'm the expert.
Yeah, you're the Jungle Cruise, like you're the guy. You're the
I'm the guy.
expert.
I'm the guy.
The
I
guy.
I do want to go to the ones outside of North America because I've seen
Yeah.
like the cast members in, I think it's Shanghai Disney. They go 110% with their acting. It's so entertaining to watch the like TikToks and the shorts of it.
Yeah. I bet.
And then next ride, just leaving Adventureland, is Indiana Jones.
I have to say, flawless. I liked it. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it. I only got to do it on my first visit, but I remember getting off and I was like, that is insane. That is
Mm-hmm.
a cool ride.
Yeah.
I love like all of the effects that they had. It was just so unique, and I'm very excited it's coming to World, but I hope it's different.
I think they confirmed that it's going to be different.
Good.
I want to say that they will make a different one.
Good.
Then Disneyland. It will not be a copy of Disneyland attractions and is promised to be different than any other Indiana Jones experiences around the world. Good.
Perfect.
Because I feel like if they copy pasted, it would really show something bad for Disney, and that's
Yeah.
not what they're trying to do.
It'd be a disappointment, and I feel like a lot of people, if they did that, would complain like, "Oh, you took 5 years to build this, and then it's the same like copy
Mm-hmm.
paste."
That'd be upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive, the special effects and the like motions. And again, people say this Indiana Jones is the same as Dinosaur. It is not. There
Mm-mm.
is no way the track is the exact same.
Yeah. Same ride vehicle for sure,
Yeah,
but
that's a fact.
the
Yeah.
track, I don't believe it.
Hmm. So where is Indiana Jones sitting on the list for you?
I'd say flawless.
I gotta agree with that. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
it's it's just rough enough to get you excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd almost say Dinosaur is too rough in comparison.
I don't know about that one.
You think Dinosaur is just rough enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, yeah, that's fair.
I feel like it depends on what car you get though and what row you sit in, because I've definitely been on certain cars that were a lot rougher than others.
Oh, do you think some are programmed differently?
That's a possibility, but I was just thinking about normal
Mm.
wear and tear and like
Mm,
mechanics.
I didn't consider that. Look at you, engineering brain. And then I don't know if this counts as Adventureland or
Mhm.
Frontierland, but the next is Pirates of the Caribbean. I know it's like on the border of both.
I think it's more in like New Orleans
Oh
Square.
shit, I forgot that's
Yeah.
even an area. Yeah. Um it's definitely better than the Pirates at Disney World. I'll say
Mhm.
that. I think the one at Disney World's very flat.
Very boring.
Mhm.
The one at Land is so exciting. It's so fun. I love how long it is. It's like 20, 25 minutes, or at least that's what it feels like, but it's so immersive.
Mhm.
I love it. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Yeah. And then what's funny is we actually put flawless for Pirates of the Caribbean when we did the last time.
Yeah. I
But
have to
now,
agree.
well, for this one, but I
Yeah.
want to say if we could go back now knowing Disneyland, I would almost bump Pirates down to great if you're comparing it to also Disneyland's.
That's true. I was actually going to be bold, say I would place it at good.
This Pirates
No,
or the other
World.
one?
Yeah, World. Like this one is flawless, but in comparison, like to
Hmm.
World sucks.
But do you know
But
what Disney World has that Disneyland doesn't have for the majority of it. Indoor queue.
Oh, that's true.
And that air is crisp when you're in Disney World's Pirates of the Caribbean.
It is. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like it's the coldest on property, I feel like.
It has to be.
It has to
But
be.
yeah, Pirates, flawless. Can't beat it. I will say, though, have you seen those videos of people drinking the water at Disney World?
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. It's crazy to watch those videos.
It's a little disgusting. And by little
I
disgusting, I mean a lot.
A lot. Because you don't, like, it's like there's metals and there's motor oil and there's
Ugh.
fucking...
I will say the only time I will ever drink water from a Disney park on a ride is if it gets in my mouth, like on the splash.
like a splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like it's worse to be spitting on a ride.
Yeah, but
It,
if you see me like catching like with my Awala out there like filling up my water bottle, uh-uh.
that's not me.
No. You gotta take me to Mickey jail.
Yeah. But it's like, it's like, why? Why are you tempting your stomach like that? You're going to hurt yourself.
You're gonna die. You're gonna get the Mickey poisoning.
Mm-hmm. There's one I saw where a guy literally, like, he scooped his hand under the water and went, and you could see like the rest of the water dripping down his face. And then someone just stitched that TikTok with them staring at the screen, just like, huh?
I hate that.
Bleh. No thanks.
I hate that.
It's the worst. I forgot to ask you because it wasn't open when I was there.
Okay.
Was Haunted Mansion open when you went?
Yeah, but not actual Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Oh, okay. Is it different than the one that we have?
Their Haunted Mansion is different, but I haven't been able to do it in like the original. I've only done it with the overlay.
Okay.
I know.
I didn't get to do it, so I think we'll just skip over that for now.
Okay.
But while we're thinking about Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
do you know what I want to talk about?
What?
They made a little gift shop.
Oh my god, not
They
this.
added a gift shop to Haunted Mansion.
The AI ghost.
Mm-hmm. And it also was a prefabbed building
From Home
for the gift
Depot.
shop from Home Depot. I'm trying to find like a Google search for this. I'm gonna find it on Reddit inevitably, but like Disneyland Haunted Mansion, AI art r/. Okay, well the one I can find that is when the AI art got taken down. But where is the actual AI art?
It looked bad. It was awful.
It was bad. It was very clear AI art. Like AI, I don't know about you guys or you, Lyn.
Yeah.
AI has a certain gloss to it.
It has a look.
Mm-hmm. It looks like things are distorted just enough that a human would know not to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Like it's things like if you had a chandelier, you would understand proportions to make it move with the angle of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But then the AI, it doesn't understand that perspective, and you'll see it droop a little uncanny. Or so what the photo is, I'll pull it up actually. The photo in question was this, and it's things like it doesn't understand fabric layers that well, and it'll do these weird like unexplained rips. Like if you wanted a rip as an artist, I feel like you would understand like how did the knife cut it or how did it get tugged on by a nail.
Mm-hmm.
This literally just feels like someone drew a hole and they just like pushed through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For this gift shop though, I'd rate it an F.
Because it was prefabbed.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where's the imagination? Where are the Imagineers at?
Yeah. But this was, yeah, someone found it online and just pointed it out. It was just sitting right there.
That's embarrassing.
That's not something you want to be found doing. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. I can't find the building though, because everyone says it's a prefab building. I don't know.
I've
What?
seen it on Twitter once and I've tried finding it since and I can't find the tweet.
Damn. Oh well. It's it's one of those things where the mouse has been getting their IT team to just like take off all records of this on Twitter.
Take it down.
Take it down now.
Oh
My impression of
boy.
it. Yeah, that was a shit Mickey impression. You did better than I did.
Oh boy, take it down
Minnie's gonna kill me.
now.
Moving into front. Fuck. Moving into Frontierland. They only have like 2 or 3 things. They have Country Bear, they have the shooting range, and then they have Big Thunder.
Yeah.
No to Country Bear.
No.
No to the shooting range.
No.
I did Big Thunder. I don't remember if you did Big Thunder.
Nope.
Fuck. I'll be quick with this. Last time we gave Big Thunder a D, not a fan, because of how aggressive it is and how loud it is. I will say it's a good ride. I'll bump it up too. It is a lot smoother, a lot better like quality, and it doesn't sound screeching. It's good. It's genuinely a good ride.
Is it smoother?
Yes.
Okay.
Like so noticeably smoother. It's impressive. I think also like the quality is a lot better there.
Yeah. From what I can tell, like their roller coasters are a lot smoother.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of surprising to think because those would have been built before Disney World stuff. No?
No.
What do you mean?
So Space Mountain was originally built at Magic Kingdom and then they adopted it at Disneyland. And then I believe Big Thunder was built after Disney World.
Shit, I'm stupid.
It's okay. No, you're not.
I'd assume my bad. I'm gonna shut up.
I like get it though because like land was first, so you think like, this has always been there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Next ride that is truly new is Matterhorn.
Yep.
New as in it's not at Disney World.
Yeah.
This thing fucking broke my back. It hurt. Did you do it?
I loved it. I was
Okay.
on a group, or I was like sat with a group of like school girls.
Mm-hmm.
I needed headphones. It was loud.
Were they screeching the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
But it was a great ride. I liked it. I thought it was like Expedition Everest, but not. Like just because the whole Yeti aspect.
But their Yeti moves. Their Yeti is aggressive.
Yeah, theirs is aggressive. I had to think about it because our Yeti doesn't move, but I was trying to think back to when it did. But no, theirs is definitely aggressive. And it's, I'm like,
Yeah.
how can this Yeti work, but ours can't? Like, I know it's a structural thing,
Because
but I'm like,
ours is from Florida and he's big backed. That's the issue.
That's true.
Yeah. Where do you put Matterhorn? Because it's mixed of like good, unique, a lot of detail, but it's also rough.
I hate to say it, I like it. I think it's a good ride, but I think I might have to add it to the might ride list. Just because it is so rough. Like when you're getting off, you're like, oh my God, I think I broke a hip.
Yeah, it's kind of like, do you want to sacrifice your body for a good time?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to say it's between great and good, but I feel like if I did it again, I would actually get off and be like, I want to go back to the hotel. I hurt everywhere.
Yeah, get me out of here.
Yep, it's a might. But that's fine. We're 23. Yeah. We're 24.
Yeah. Also,
we are old farts.
Yes. Also, I do have news. You were right. So Big Thunder Mountain opened at Disneyland September 2nd, 1979. But it opened at World at 1980, which is shocking because if it's smoother, then what's going on?
It could be weather. That could still be it.
That's true.
It could be weather, materials, and quality. Because just because both parks were built around the same time doesn't mean they got their materials from the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be things like that. It could be vendors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next, for the rides that are new or that we haven't talked about, is the Snow White ride, which is more of like a Peter Pan, I want to say, or like a Winnie the Pooh, and less
Yeah.
of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah. It's a dark ride.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, if you've never done it, there's this scene where the um evil queen turns into the witch.
I
And
thought that was this one. Okay.
yeah, I don't know how they do it. I am amazed every single time I go on it. I just think it's so like interesting because it happens just like that. And I mean, it is a slow moving ride, but they have cars coming in and out like all the time. So I'm like, how did they get like this to reset so fast? How does it not break down?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just so magical to me.
It's impressive, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like mixed with the idea of like going on a ride that's just a retelling of the movie you very easily watched.
Hmm.
But I do agree that like it's one of the things where it's like it makes you really get into it because it's like how did that just like that?
Yeah. And I think it's interesting too because this ride, as well as the Pinocchio ride, they do input some new technology into the ride in terms of like maybe like a magic effect, like on the wall or something like projection.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
do think it's interesting how it is like the original like track for the most part. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also thinking back to the point you just said, like, oh, it's like an exact copy of the movie. Keep in mind, like, when Disneyland opened, I feel like a lot of people were like into these movies. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
Walt kind of thought, like, wouldn't it be cool if they could ride the movies? So, like, now looking back on it, it's like, oh, that's just the story. But maybe to them, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the
Yeah,
world.
that's
But
true. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I'm a sucker for dark rides.
Mm-hmm. That is a good point you bring up where it's I think that was like the cultural appeal back then
Hmm.
where it's how can we have people truly watch the story instead of
Yeah.
looking at a screen and viewing a story.
Hmm.
And then I think the transition nowadays is people want to have their own story around or within the parks. So that's why like Rise of the Resistance, it's very much like you're in between movies 7 through 8 or 8 through 9. I forget what it is. And then it's also things like Star Tours can take place anytime because it's kind of like this third world country or company that isn't a direct link to Disney or not Disney, Star Wars, but is associated with the Star Wars idea.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So for Snow White, though, with all that in mind, is it great? Is it good?
I wouldn't say it's like my first. Actually, you know what? It's great. It's great. It's great. I would say great.
Because dark and magical and
Yeah.
classic.
There's another ride that we
What?
gotta get in. We gotta get into it when it comes up, but that one
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
about that.
I don't know about that. Well, first we have Runaway Railway. And I
Yes.
remember last time we talked about Disneyland, you gave us some hints about like the difference.
Yeah.
So when we did Runaway Railway, we said it was a mite ride.
Hmm.
Would you say it's higher than that?
All right. So the ride, I personally did not notice a difference. I think the actual ride itself, the exact same.
Yes.
But the queue. I was in the lightning lane for this ride and I still enjoyed the queue. There's so many like small details. And if you're a fan of like classic Mickey cartoon side characters, like I'm a big fan of Horace Horsecollar. There's actually a lot of like Horace things in the queue or like nods to Horace. So it's basically like you're going through a giant museum of Mickey to celebrate all of his movies. Like there's Toodles. So it's just so cool. Like I didn't get to see Toodles, but the queue's huge and there's like so many things. Like you could be in that queue for hours and probably still not notice every single little detail.
Oh, well, this I know is like a very old ghost cartoon, like the
Yeah.
classic era of Mickey cartoons.
And the cool thing is, like, you can see on, like, the right side at the bottom right, they actually have little cue cards telling you, like, what is this from or, like, the significance of it.
That's cute.
It is so cute.
I would almost wish if they're doing all these nods and hints to the film and the history of Mickey,
Mhm.
I would say Runaway Railway should have been what it is at Hollywood Studios, but then at Toontown, it could have been the classic what is it called? Greatest oh fuck. I feel so stupid.
Great movie, right?
The
Or
Great Movie Ride, thank you.
yeah.
I had a complete brain meltdown. They could have made it a Great Movie Ride style for Mickey, and it could have been like him taking us through his legacy as an actor. And then his like arch nemesis, the like really big guy.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete kind of like takes the helm and he like diverts the story to be focused about him. And
Oh,
then
that'd be
Mickey's
cool.
battling to go back. And then we're going through like one film era and the next film era. And then near the end, it could quickly transition to a bunch of different ones, like the black and white, the golden era, the modern era, and like
Mhm.
keep shuffling around.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That could have been a good way to show like it's not the same as Disney World. It is in fact
Yeah.
a different ride.
Yeah. And, like, I would prefer if they did that concept to have more, like, physical props like they did in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like screens for the whole thing, but I feel like when you're talking about like switching through the different eras, they could have had like a film reel, like
Mm-hmm.
that would have been really cool.
Yeah. I think it's just like they can't just do videos. They have to do
Yeah.
physical aspects and props and
Mhm.
animatronics and backdrops and all these other
Yeah.
different things. But with the ride being a little bit more detailed with the queue, where is it in your opinion on the tier list?
I don't want to see great because I'm not going to say, oh, the queue's great, so the
Yeah.
ride's great.
Yeah.
Probably good.
That's reasonable. It's a little bit better, but it's not over the top.
Yeah.
I still miss the Great Movie Ride. I'll still be upset about that till this day. So that's reasonable.
Mhm.
Now, next is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Is that the one that you're so eager to talk about?
Yeah.
So what is it
Yeah.
about it? Because I only rode it
Okay.
as a child. I didn't get to ride it recently.
Okay. So the first time I ever went to Disneyland, I went with my two roommates, Madison, or not Madison, Morgan and Allison. I was thinking about my other roommate that did not go with us. So sad.
Oh,
I went with my roommates, Morgan and Allison, and while we were on this trip, we were like, oh, let's do like all the rides we don't have. So we skipped anything that was a repeat. So we went on Mr. Toad and they rode together and I had to ride by myself. So I was like, okay, like, sure, I've never seen Mr. Toad. Like, this is going to be a fine ride. There's this scene where you go to hell.
excuse me?
There's this scene on the ride where you go to hell. And it's dark and it's scary and there's literal fire. I was like about to cry. I was literally crouching down like this. I was so scared. And I got off that ride and I said, I'm traumatized. I will never go on this ride again.
I'm not going to screen share because I don't want to traumatize you. Oh, this is like
It's okay, you can
actually.
screen share. I've done it again, so
No, I don't want to traumatize the viewers.
oh yeah.
This
It's
is
it's
this is actually hell. There's
yeah.
stalactites, stalagmites, there's red lava colors, there's a dragon, there's demons with pitchforks. Wasn't Walt like a Christian man?
I think so, but Walt was a
Was
little
this was this
iffy on
ride
something.
but was this ride made when Walt was alive?
I don't know. I don't think that ride should be allowed for kids. That's horrifying.
There's a pin. There's a hell pin.
I need it.
I'm not kidding. This is actually funny as hell.
Literally. Oh wait, I need that.
No way.
It's like a real pin.
Can you describe this for the audio listeners?
Yeah, so it's a pin that says like welcome, and you're going into someone's mouth, creature's mouth, devil's mouth, and the pin opens up and it's just a Mr. Toad cart in hell, and there's like a demon with a pitchfork and everything's on fire.
That that's ridiculous. Holy shit.
I was like, I'm surprised this ride is running. Like, how are these kids not traumatized? And that's a funny thing. There are kids who are like maybe like 3, 4 in line for this ride. I'm like, you are in for a treat, my friend.
You are gonna cry.
You're gonna cry. And then they come off the ride fine, and then you see like grown ass woman. Oh my god.
There's
That
no
was
sign.
horrifying.
There's no sign at the entrance that's like, "Hey, we advise that if you have, a religious sensitivity or a personal sensitivity to depictions of the afterlife, don't go on this, especially with a young child."
I don't think so. I
Damn.
I'm surprised like you don't remember this. Like I know you said you went when you were a kid, but
I was so
like
young. I was so
that
young.
that would have messed me up.
Can you imagine going on this like tripping balls? Like, remember the guy was like on some substance and he went on It's a Small World and he started climbing on
Yeah.
the carpets and then he like stripped naked and stuff like
I
that.
should have put him on this ride.
Oh, he would have been I think he would have been punching stalactites and breaking the demons in half. He'd be like
Yeah. The craziest part to me about this ride, like I can't get over it. They actually shoot like real like fire. It gets like hot in there.
oh
And
shit.
like if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure they do little flames, but I'm like, how is this stuff not catching on fire? Like I know they probably like have done it up to code with like recent building standards and things, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm scared. Can you imagine being stuck on that ride and it like catches
Oh.
on fire? No, 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 no.
I'm in hell. I'm in hell.
Literally.
How do
Help.
you get how do you get out of hell on that scene?
Oh, I think that's how the ride ends. You literally like get out of
Oh,
you you're like in hell and then like suddenly like off the ride.
okay, I think that would further the trauma as a child if it broke down in like the midsection of the hell scene and just like, we died, we're dead, we're never getting out. This is the end of my life.
This is it. This isn't a ride anymore, Timmy.
Mhm. That'd be worse than if the Peter Pan ride had like a very deep section of the Donkey Island stuff
Yeah.
and like you got stuck there. This is worse.
I don't remember watching Peter Pan.
Peter Pan's low key like terrifying.
Yeah.
Where does Mr. Toad sit with all of that?
I don't know, not to be a sick freak or anything, but like I'm kind of like I'm traumatized by it, but I think it's hilarious.
Is this you trying to say it's flawless?
This is me trying to say I might ride.
Oh, you might ride.
Yeah, depends if I want to have a good day or not.
Oh, you completely threw me off. You're like, I don't want to sound like a psychopath. Whoop. But no. But no. Might ride.
No, probably might ride.
Okay, that makes sense. I think yeah. I gotta agree
Yeah.
with that. Did you also get a chance to do Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
How was that as well?
I liked it.
You
I
liked it.
love it. I thought it was really fun. Um, something about that movie, it's just so funny. So I really enjoyed the ride.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that movie in a while. The only thing I can remember from that movie is the fact that the main actor, who's I think what is it? His name's also Roger Rabbit. Isn't that like how the story goes?
I don't know.
Who framed
No,
Roger?
he's a detective.
Oh, he's a detective.
Yeah, Roger Rabbit is just Roger Rabbit.
Oh, okay. I completely misremembered that. Um, but I got to rewatch it. I remember basically the detective. He was acting with fake things for so long that
Yeah.
he actually started to develop like I don't know if it's classified as a schizophrenic issue, but he
Mhm.
was seeing the creatures that he was acting with in the real world.
Creatures. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Kind
it's
of scary.
crazy. Yeah.
So where's Roger Rabbit for you on this tier list?
Hmm. I have to say, it's a good ride.
It's a
I
good
wouldn't
ride.
say it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough Jessica Rabbit, but it's a good ride.
Okay, that's also fair. Throw it down there. Now the next one I think is going to be our first avoid riding. Oh, you're gonna hear me. You're gonna hear my
Oh, I will
reasoning.
hear you out.
Nemo, the Nemo Voyage ride. I did not go on it. I the closest I went to it was the queue because I was waiting for my dad at the monorail. Um, I've seen photos and videos of it, and it is a small submarine you sit in, and there's children there. All I can think about is a broken back and a headache because of children screaming and being stupid. I will avoid riding it at all cost.
Okay. Okay. For me, it's a might ride. I say that I enjoy it. I think it's fun. Being under the water makes me feel like a little mermaid, but I feel so big backed in that submarine because the chairs they flip down from, I guess, the wall. I don't know how to describe it, like the divider between
Mm-hmm.
both sides of the submarine, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a small ass seat.
It's intended for children.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You
Might ride.
might ride. Well,
Yeah.
you actually just reminded me of something that happened recently. I
What?
hope you saw this as well. A mermaid performer getting
Oh,
attacked by a
yes.
fish. This is insane.
Not the TMZ. They're gonna come for us.
Shit. This happens. And there's this
This is
fish over
so
here.
funny.
Now, the creepy thing, just a heads up for anyone watching this as a video, these fish have this extendable mouth ability where, as a human, you can do this. These things, to catch prey, they can make their mouth expand out past their lips and then grab something.
Yeah.
It's like an evolution thing, but it bites the head of the mermaid. Now, just, yeah, I think this is going to be slow-mo, but I want to slow down even further if I'm able to. No, I can't. I might
No.
just,
Chomp.
yeah, you can see the mouth extend there. It's
Ugh.
creepy because it looks like her face is just gone.
Yeah. I'd quit my job after that.
I think her nose and mouth is covered. I think you could see her mouth in the clip. Sorry, her nose and eyes. That's, ooh, okay. I think this is
Oh,
the girl. The unidentified fish, like it has a name,
a great sturgeon.
appears unbothered by the fiasco and carries on with his journey about the tank. Offered around $96 and more.
$6?
That's insulting for nowadays. Wow.
Give me 96 million.
Yeah. And apparently the aquarium wants to keep the incident as hush hush as possible. Girl, too late. This shit is not hush hush. Woo.
Get your bag, girl.
Get your bag.
Get your check.
Poor girl though. That's
I
really
know.
unfortunate to happen.
That's why I don't like going in the water.
I think, yeah, as a child I always had this like deep rooted fear of like something in the water grabbing me.
Yeah. I want to get over that fear though. I kind of want to go swimming with sharks for my birthday at the aquarium, but
Aquarium.
after seeing that, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not even a shark. That's the scarier part. It's like now sharks and fish are scary.
Great.
So you said you might ride Nemo.
Yeah.
I want to avoid it.
Let's meet in the middle.
We're not a fan.
Yeah. Why
Damn.
don't you just meet me in the middle?
So far we have nothing that's avoid riding.
Yeah.
I think that's a first. I think every other park we've had avoid riding.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, Hollywood Studios we didn't. But Magic Kingdom we had 5.
Oof.
We're down to our last 4. All in Tomorrowland. First up is Autopia. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff because it just smells like diesel engine.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're not on the ride, you smell diesel engine.
Yep.
And that for me is a headache. You wanted to talk about it. I'm curious what you have to say about Autopia.
Okay, so I've only done the one at World, and World is pretty boring.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing to look at. But the one for Land, I'm not sure if because this one is sponsored. I think the World one is sponsored too, but there's like statues, like fun
Of
little
who?
statues, just robots and creatures. And I like it. I think it's fun. There's like this one like robot I should have took a picture of because I thought he was funny looking. But I don't know, it's just fun. So I like it. Like for that reason, I might ride it. Like it's not something I would do every single visit, but if it's like, oh, it has a short wait, I'm not doing anything, I'm in the area anyways of Tomorrowland, let me do it.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes, it was that bird. I thought that bird was funny. I thought he was cute.
You don't like the where my hug at robot?
Where my hug
Where
at?
my
No.
hug at?
No, I'm trying to speed away from him.
This would be cute as a pin. I can see this being really, or even like a plush.
Don't say that to me.
Why?
Because now I want it, and it doesn't exist.
Fuck. Yikes.
Oof.
But for the ride,
I'd say
not
my
not thinking about
the
him,
bird.
the bird.
Okay. Okay. I'd say probably no. Like I'm not a fan, like
Okay, same.
okay.
I'm not a fan either. I can understand the old appeal, but I personally don't like it.
Yeah.
Now the next one is kind of like awkward because it's not that different, but it
Mhm.
is completely different. The not Astro Blasters. Oh, is it Astro Blasters?
No, that's Space Ranger Spin. Or well, their version.
What's the
Astro Orbiter?
Astro Orbiter?
I don't know if that's what they call it though.
The ride where you're in a rocket ship and spinning in a circle. Well,
Woo!
see, it's the similar idea. You're going in a rocket ship, you go up and down as you go in a circle. But the major difference is this one is on the ground at the beginning of Tomorrowland. The other one is on top of a building very far away in the middle of Tomorrowland.
Mhm.
And I think that's a lot of fun. I think that's really cool that not only are you in a spaceship, but you're high up in altitude.
Yeah.
Did you get to go on it?
No.
Oh. I last time said it's good, and I think altitude is a big player, so I want to knock this down one peg, and I want to say it's a might ride. Simply
Interesting.
because you can't go up in the air.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. And then last two for Astro Blasters. Did you do it?
Yeah. I did it.
I didn't. So
I was
what is
trying
your
to remember.
thoughts?
I like Worlds better. I don't like the shooting mechanism for Astro Blasters. Like I thought I was gonna love Astro Blasters because it's one of my favorite rides at World.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, like, it's probably a might ride. I'm competitive,
Mm.
so I like that game. But it's a might ride.
Okay. Might ride. That's fair. I gotta say, those people that are able to get Galactic,
Hero.
how? I don't get that.
It's hard. I've only gotten it once, and that's when the ride broke down.
That's cheating.
That is cheating, but it's my only time I got it, so
Damn. Last but not least is Space Mountain at Disneyland. And
heck yeah.
I also got to do the one that was overhauled to be a Star Wars design on the
Okay.
inside. Oh my goodness, this ride is light years better than
Yeah.
Disney World, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive.
It's smooth. The music,
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
I
Big
don't remember there being music like
There's-
at World. So
no,
Land
there's
having
not.
it?
Disney World is more just like uh meteor comet noise, space noise, and then rocket ship noise. It's like that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And then also I find it very interesting that at World it's one person row Space Mountain, 2 to 3 person row Splash Mountain.
Mhm.
Disneyland is 2-person spaceship rows, and then their Splash Mountain is narrower. It's one.
I like that because you can tell the difference.
Yeah, but that's very interesting. It's like, well, why?
Yeah,
There's always a reason why they design cars to be so wide and so deep and so many rows. So it's like, well, why was that a translation difference between Anaheim and Orlando?
right.
Like, what happened?
Hmm.
I will put, in my opinion, Space Mountain for the design, the aspects of the ride vehicle, and the music, all of it. It is flawless to me.
Oh my God, thank you.
Were you
I
worried
was,
I was going to put it lower?
yeah. I
No,
was
this
like,
is
no.
flawless.
I will say, I don't really like their queue.
It's yeah, that is the only thing where it's
Yeah,
like as a like if this was every single aspect, it would be an A plus. It wouldn't be
yeah,
S though.
yeah.
But it is,
The
in my
ride.
opinion, great. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I do love the aspects of Disney World where it's like the space tunnel noises and the like woo as you go down the hallway.
Yeah.
That is like one of my favorite like noises from Disney World.
Hmm.
Still though, overall, Space Mountain flawless.
We'd love to see it.
Mhm. But that is the entirety of Disneyland. We did it.
Woo!
Let's go.
California Adventure next?
Not next week though, because we
Yeah.
can't do 3 in a row. That'll look really bad.
Yeah. We're not Disney adults.
We're not. We're not.
No.
We're not. I swear.
We're not. No.
We actually have something planned for next week because we want to be on theme with Valentine's Day. So Lynn is going to prepare some story points and segments to talk about, which I'm looking forward to because it's
Yeah.
less work for me, thankfully.
Reddit.
Reddit, here we come.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great, grand old time.
We're gonna see some love and we're gonna see some breakups.
Did you already
Courtesy
get
of
some? Did you already get some stories?
I found some. Some of
I'm
these people
excited.
on Reddit. Ooh.
It's these people on Reddit. But thank you guys for watching another episode of the Jungle Hour. We hope you have a great rest of your week. And like always,
Stay wild.